the world is tough. Nigeria is tougher. So if you want to move past the other people, you got to do the extra. You can't be normal. You have to be mad.
Welcome to the Ask Akin Alabi Show, the show where you learn the best business, marketing, and life lessons absolutely free.
Hello there, once again, welcome to the Ask Akin Alabi Show. Ask Akin Alabi Show is where we answer all the questions bothering you about small business, about marketing, and about life in general. And of course, with a bit of banters, right? On the show with me today, I've got another guest, just the way we had last week and just the way we always do. I've got a friend in the studio, a guy that if you're on social media, especially on Twitter, you must have seen his tweets, you must have heard his name. He's an entrepreneur, he's a sports marketing consultant, he's an author to be, because I'm on his neck to write a book, and I've already given him the title of the book. The title of the book is We Die There. There's a reason for that, and we'll probably talk about that later. Now, before I go to my guest, if you want to ask us a question on the show and you want us to answer it, there are two ways to do it. You can send us an email at ask@akinalabi.com. That's ask@akinalabi.com. ask@akinalabi.com. Or you can just go on social media and use the hashtag #AskAkinAlabi. I'm going to see it, especially on Twitter. I'm going to see it, then I'll be able to reply you. I can reply you right there, or we can add it as one of the questions we'll answer on this show. So back to my guests. The name of my guest is Biola Kazeem, a good friend of mine, a sports marketing consultant, a sport pundit, an entrepreneur, an all-round stubborn guy. Biola Kazeem. Biola, welcome to the show.
Hi, Akin. Good to be on your show. I've been looking forward to it. I told you I was going to be here.
You have to be. And although this is the first time you're here, I hope this is not going to be the last time, because I'm sure our viewers are going to love you. And they're going to disagree with you a lot about your opinions, and I know you two, you're going to stay on your opinions. We've been seen on Twitter, so I know that already. So this is not going to be the last one, so you're going to be a regular feature on this show. Now, before we get to the questions, let's just talk about some general things that have been happening around. And let's talk about COVID-19, where the economy is opening up all around the world now. And but I think in retrospect, I think this COVID-19 have all made us look like fools. I mean, there's a group of people at the beginning that said there's no COVID-19, it's not real, it's a hoax. Yeah. Then you find some of them dying. Actually, the champions of those causes actually caught the virus and died. Yeah. On the other side, we have people who said, no, people are going to be dropping dead on the streets in the next couple of weeks.
All locked down.
But here we are, and everywhere is opening up now. Yeah. I think everyone have been made a fool by this virus.
Yeah, to some extent. And I mean, the reason obviously is clear. It's a new virus. There's no prior knowledge. There's no prior body of knowledge. The initial fear was that the transmission was so fast and so quick that it could overrun even the best healthcare systems. And we saw, that happen in Italy. We saw that happen in France, to some extent as well in England, where they struggled to some extent to just sort of like cope with the rate of hospitalization, because the real danger is that this transmission is so quick. Like I said, maybe about 10 or 15%, the data is still not clear, of those people who need hospitalization. Some of them are even in emergency care, some are even in ventilators. And people just did the numbers that if this thing spread in millions as quickly as it could spread, you could easily have hundreds of thousands of people needing hospital care, which will mean that you'll have to prioritize them. Yeah. What about people that are down with other illnesses? Like, there was a whole slew of consequences if this overrun the world. So obviously, caution, fear, hysteria took over, and everybody just ran for cover. Governments all over the world were sort of like looking for ways.
Which was the sensible thing to do, the responsible thing to do?
Absolutely. So I have a friend who is a medical safety expert who actually is around India somewhere.
Behind camera.
Who actually told me that what happens with pandemics and with responses like this is that when people feel that government and healthcare professionals took too much precaution, it actually means that they succeeded.
Yeah.
That is much better for it to appear like they took too much precaution than for people to actually die, and they are now confirming that maybe we could have done more. Because to say that is absolutely that there's no winning. So looking from where we sit, obviously as business people, as people who are involved in all manners of stuff, it's easy to look around and be like, oh, I think maybe we all overreacted. Some part of me feels that way, but the other part of me also has the feeling that anytime you
can
hear
never be over careful
about life, anytime you hear that the consequences of something can be the loss of life.
It's like when you spend a lot of money on security and vigilante, mobile police and all that in your area. I said, but there was no thief. Maybe we overreacted.
Exactly. Take them off for a few days. And then, unfortunately, the price might be somebody or people's lives. Exactly. So, I mean, I've put it out there a couple of times that did we overreact to, this whole COVID?
Another thing that trips me? When we had 5 cases, 10 cases, 12 cases,
everybody was afraid.
Shut down. Now we have about 15,000. And I'm not just talking about Nigeria, all over the world. We all panicked at the beginning. 5 cases in Nigeria, 10 cases in Nigeria. We got to shut down. Then 15,000 cases now. We got to go out.
We have to open up the world.
What's going on?
I think that part of it is because we have a bit more information now about the virus. So there, for instance, we know things like social distancing now. The information everybody understands all of this information. Early on, people didn't know what was social distancing, sanitize. Now we almost do it instinctively. I've got masks in my car. I've got masks everywhere. Everywhere you go, you see people wearing masks. So that period of lockdown is a period where people have understood the virus more. They understand the personal responsibility and precautions that they have to take. So we sort of like, even though the numbers are climbing up, we feel in better control of our spaces. We feel in better control of the precautions. That means that if you take these precautions, chances of catching it is highly unlikely. We also know now that if you have underlying health issues, it is better that you isolate and you don't put yourself in condition. So we sort of like all other things, like malaria or all the other diseases, they exist, but you also have a feeling that if I have mosquito nets, I don't have bodies of water, I have disinfectant, I most likely
informed now,
exactly. I think that's the reason why we off, and also we should add that it is unnatural to lock people up. At some point, people will just be like, look, whatever is out there, I'm going to face it. We are a species that achieve everything we achieve by fighting, by conquering, by literally fighting for survival. Is embedded in us. So when you say to people that lock up for a month or two, by the 3rd month, other consequences in their life are also adding up. Financial issues, obviously career issues. Loads of people have to be out there to get work done. Most of people are handy people. If they are not, some of us can work remotely once we have a computer or even a phone, we do sometimes when we are, you can work on your phone. But for other people, they need to be on site to work, and they've been locked up. So the other life issues will start to rise to a point where people will be like, you know what, I'm going to go to my workshop, I'll wear my mask, I'll wear a glove, I'll use the hand sanitizer, but I need to go to work now.
Someone said malaria is welcoming COVID-19 into association of regular diseases in Nigeria.
It does appear. The point I was even trying to make someone 2 days ago was that if you notice, the numbers of people using the mask is reducing. Most people even have it on their chin rather than on their nose. Like, people are getting more and more comfortable. But the truth of the matter is that it is still a serious it's a pandemic, it's global. It's still a serious issue. You never really know how your body will react to it. The idea is that if you have, if you take all of these precautions and you have a strong immune system, it really shouldn't do you too much damage. But you never really know. And
all right, let's get down to nitty-gritty of the show. The first question here, there's no name here. It says, how do you stay consistent? How do you stay true to cause to ensure you reach your goals? Now, before you answer, I want to kind of direct your answer in a way. I've known Biola for some years now, and I've known him to be a very tough guy, a consistent guy, a persistent guy, a strong-willed guy. And a couple of years ago, at an event I hold every year called YECO, Youth Enterprise Conference. Youth Enterprise Conference, if this is the first time you're hearing about it, is the biggest youth empowerment event in the whole of Africa. I don't care what advert you see on CNN, right? It is the biggest youth empowerment conference in Africa. We hold it in March every year at Eco Hotels. There were 6,500 youths. I bring my friends who do business to come and teach and share their stories, and we empower some of them, give them some money so that they can start their own small business as well. So Biola came on, I think Yeko 3, I think the third edition. No, meanwhile, because of COVID-19, we're not having Yeko this year. So we're going to be having next year, 2021. That'll be Yeko 5. Yeko 5 was meant to be this
Hopefully
year.
there'll be no more COVID.
We will have kicked COVID away. So Biola came on, I think Yeko 3 or so, and he talked about his story when he was a pundit, sports broadcaster at High TV. I don't know whether I should call it High TV or HITV. Is it HITV or High TV?
High TV.
High TV.
High TV,
You
that's
don't like to
the
say
name.
HITV. Sounds like HIV.
No. The corporate name is just ITV.
So now you're going to tell the stories yourself. You
Yeah.
talked about how you were trying to get a job as a pundit. You were a student at those students.
Yeah.
And I think that story will basically answer this question about staying consistent. You want to share that story with us?
Yeah, I mean, so how did I start this? First of all, like, sort of like started school late. That's university. When I was like, obviously, like everybody else, when I finished secondary school, the whole plan for me then was to go to England to go to school. You know, I mean, obviously, and that was the plan. We're looking for schools in the UK. I was applying. I was getting admissions, but for whatever reason, I wasn't getting visas. So it got to a point where, I mean, I couldn't move, but my younger sister was able to, you know, go on and school in the UK.
Visa. What kind of head do you have?
Do you understand? I don't know. So my sister eventually left, but I mean, for whatever reason, it just didn't work out for me. So at 21, I think I had to go and write jump. I mean, when I was like 18, I already had university admission in Nigeria. I mean, between me and my parents, we just agreed that that's not the direction I wanted to go. I was supposed to go to school in England, so I didn't even bother, you know, going to go and register or whatever it was. So, but at 21, I had to, like, boys that I was with in university, I mean, secondary school, were almost graduating. It just dawned on me that, look, you're old, you know. So I had to go and buy jam form. I took myself to jam lesson. Bob, I mean, there was a humility. There was a humility that came over me that I always tell people that I don't know how I found, you know. I studied very hard, passed my jam. I chose Osu, you know, deliberately, like, I don't want any trouble. I just want to go to university.
Please, the management of Osu, if you are listening to this, please, no disrespect.
No disrespect. I'm from Ogun State. So I just felt like if I do well in jam, I'm from Ogun State.
Yeah.
The quota system was going to, like, I just sort of like try to make, I did that. But, you know, one of the gifts there was that I decided then I was going to do mass comm, which was like, I've always had a flair for writing, for speaking. Like, I mean, I was a very expressive guy, so I felt mass comm probably a more natural fit. So I went to SU. When I was in 200 level, we had a strike, a 4-month strike in school. There was a crisis in school, so we all came home. When I came home for the holidays, obviously, you know, when you have these periods, for some people, it's a time for them to have fun. And I was very, very introspective. I was thinking, what will I do in my life? This is another 4 months. I didn't want any break. I just wanted life to continue. And I decided that, look, I've always had a passion for football, talking about football, like from secondary school. Anybody who, the standard joke I tell people when people see me on TV talking about football is, you won't see anybody who went to primary or secondary school with me who will be surprised to see me on TV talking football.
Because that's what you've always done.
Absolutely. I've always gathered groups and lecture everybody, like, and I must have the final word. That has always been my MO. So nobody who went secondary school with me would be in any way surprised that most of the work that I do now is around sports and sports media. Like, I was a natural fit. So I decided there and then that, look, I need to find a way to break into, you know, this field. And I went to go and speak with my friend Wale Opatola. And I told him that, look, how do I get into this? Wale then was quite established on TV, on MITV, on Fumi, on that show. So Wale took me to Felix Okugbe.
Okay.
Late Felix Okugbe, who was very, very phenomenal. He took me in immediately. And so I started working with Felix Okugbe.
During that strike, you mean?
Yes, during the strike.
Okay.
I just started working with Felix Okugbe. By the time we resumed school, I already was enjoying myself so much that even when we resumed, I used to always come back to Lagos because, I mean, I'd found a space in a career that I wanted to build for myself. So we resumed school, but I was always coming to Lagos almost every week, every other week. Then my parents would send me some money for pocket money. I would starve myself in school so that I could have money to travel down to Lagos, because to be fair to Okugbe, he didn't have to take me on. He just started to take me on because he felt I was knowledgeable. And so it was more like an internship with, I mean, I didn't sign any, there was no letter. It was just just come here and come and be with us. So I mean, I was paying my way down from. In fact, I used to joke then that I used to travel from Ogun to Ogun because my school was in Agoiwe. I would travel to Ikeja and then get a bus to Songota, which is in Ogun State. Which is why I used to say that through Lagos. So I'll come to Lagos to Ikeja and take another bus, to Songota. And anytime we were in Felix Okube studio, his house was free. His wife, they used to give us food. So we're always working. I met my very, very good friend Naoma Katugba there.
Yeah.
We were working for Okube. And then I'll come in on Wednesday. We'll do the recording on either. We'll do some production work on Thursday. We'll record on Friday. Sometimes we'll do the live show on Saturday. Then after, I'll go back to school. And then the next Wednesday, I'll come back. That was sort of like what I was doing for almost till I graduated.
Okay.
Every penny I had was towards saving money to be able to come to Lagos to come and do that show. Was sort of like my life. But the good thing was, after I finished school, I already had a lot of friends, associates in sports media. That meant that as I was graduating, I was able to just, I knew what I was going to do in my life because I'd already invested quite a bit of time, and I started making appearances on various TV stations. And then ITV was the biggest platform in Nigeria. They had the EPL rights.
EPL and later Champions League.
They had Champions League rights. And I remember when I was in school, one of my friends told me later, one day I was watching ITV, and I was watching Temisan and Uncle Dejomoto Ibo, Uncle Dejitumbu, Uncle Shola Ikbeku, Fela Bankolemo, my friend Badaki Today Johnson, quite a lot. They were all analyzing. And I was telling my friends then that I'm going to end up on this platform. And he told me then that, how are you going to do it? And I was like, I don't know, but I know I'll do it. And it was just an off-handed comment. But when I finished and, we're doing all of these appearances, I laser focused my mind on trying to get into ITV. Luckily for me, and this is where I always say to people that obviously you need some element of luck. There was a neighbor of mine who had stayed with us, who was staying in the house I was staying many, many years ago, who was a producer with ITV. His name is Shegun Onwuka. Okay. So I reached out to him and told him that, look, this thing, I can do. It was like, oh yeah, he see me around and about that I should come over. So I went to ITV, with him as the producer and introduced me to a few people. But of course, for a platform like that, it wasn't just going to happen. That's the biggest sports platform in Nigeria. It would take some time. And so what it needed was for me to be very, very persistent. With how I found that strength, I wouldn't know. But what I used to do then was every Saturday, ITV was deep inside the Ikorodu. What I used to do then was every Saturday, I would go there, invited or not. And I would go and sit down in and around the studio environment, sometimes outside as well. Just
with who? With the security?
Yeah, security be out there, and I would just sit down right next to the canteen.
Okay.
Just waiting till maybe Shegun Onwuka comes outside to come and pick me to go inside, because sometimes network issues will mean that I can't call him from the gate, and I cannot go in without him saying you can come in. When I get inside, I will meet all of the other pundits and analysts. I'll be talking to them. I already had a relationship with Uncle Dejomoto, but I used to go and watch football in his office way back when I was a very young boy. So I will sit down with them. I'll be talking. Temisa Okomi was the lead presenter. Temisa, great guy. So, but then I understand his reticence to just put me on air. I just came from nowhere. Exactly.
The whole country's watching.
I just came from nowhere. Exactly.
Doesn't work that way.
So what happened was I used to go consistently every Saturday for months. And then the good thing for me was when we're leaving ITV in the evening, because they would do the games till late in the evening. I used to hitch a ride with Temisa. He would drop me on the way to my house. Those rides that we're having, me and him, we're talking football. Most times I'll be analyzing the match that has gone by, and he just wants to relax. So sometimes he just tell me like, oh boy,
calm down. Especially if Arsenal lost.
Exactly. He would just be playing his notorious BIG. I will even be rapping just to show him that I can rap too. Let's just be cool and put me on. And I was doing that for months. How I found that persistence, honestly, because it was quite an endeavor. This was very far. I didn't have a lot of money. I could spend my time doing other things. I was a very good web designer. I was a very good, graphic. I could do a lot. I learned all of these things by myself because, like I told you, I was coming to Lagos like almost every week. I needed money to fund that. So what I did was I went to Computer Village. I bought interactive CDs.
Okay.
And I learned how to design graphics by myself. I learned how to design websites by myself. So I started taking graphics and web design jobs that were giving me money that I was using to fund my dream to be a sports pundit. So I was doing all of those things. So I constantly disturbed him for months on end. And I think that maybe I just literally wore him down. And then one day he just said, you know what? I'm going to put you on air next week. You had better be ready. Somewhere in my mind, I was like, me ready. I was ready 5 years ago.
I was born ready.
And he put me on air eventually. And that was just it. After he put me on air, things just clicked. I became a regular on ITV. I was actually serving when I was on ITV then, and that was, I made that transition within like a year of graduating to ITV. It took me months, probably about 4 months of constantly doing this, just hoping and going and doing the same thing every single. Someday I'll go Saturday, sometimes I'll go even on Sunday.
Yeah.
The good thing is that I built some enduring relationships from just all of that.
Yeah.
All the people who were pundits then, Uncle Dejomoto Ibo, Uncle Bode, all of them are my bonds. The one I'm closest to, that I do a lot of work for, even till now, Uncle Shaye Kweku, who is the chairman of Lagos State Sports Commission.
Yeah.
I met him there, and we just struck a good relationship, and he's been my bond, he's been my mentor, and that basically was
now that's some consistency. It's so easy not to do it. The easy option is to say, I've done my bid. I went to Ikorodu twice.
Yes.
They didn't allow me in.
Yeah.
But I've tried. This country is tough. Yeah, this country is tough. I know. Everywhere is tough, to be honest. But Nigeria, we have our own special toughness. And you can give up. You could have given up and said, I can't do this anymore. But why did you keep doing it? You didn't see any other way. You just have to do it.
Yes. So the question I was going to say is that when people say you want to give up on the things that you dream about, and then what?
So what are you going to do? So after giving up, what happens?
What next?
There is no option.
I couldn't picture
There's
anything
no
else.
option.
This just had to work. I couldn't picture anything else, and that's what I always tell people. That's where you sort of like have to find your strength. And I preach to a lot of young people that look, whether you like it or not, if you come from a normal Nigerian home where there isn't a lot of money, where you literally have to struggle for yourself, one of the things you can do for yourself as a young boy, whether you like it or not, even though it is not fashionable, is that you have to read a lot of self-help books. Yes, you have to. People call it aspire to aspire, and they were grateful towards it, and they laugh, but there's a lot of wisdom in those books. I'm gonna be honest, where I found a lot of the mental resolve that I needed then were in those books they will write stories about how somebody prepared for an Olympics for 8 years.
Yeah.
Somebody who had been ruled out of achieving anything, stuck stubbornly. So I had those mental pictures in my head when I was going through all of it, that look, nothing good comes easy. One of the things I tell young people is that prepare for hardship, prepare for when obstacles come, you tell it welcome. I was waiting for you. It's part of the plan. Like, it's supposed to be hard. If it was easy, everybody will be here. Everybody will be here. So you have to. If you say you want to stop, ask yourself, okay, I stop now. What do I go to?
So why would you give up after going there twice and you weren't let in? There's
What was the
other
point?
option. Now that reminds me, because there was a day I was speaking at an event, and there's this young guy who said his dream is to become he believes he's good on radio and maybe on TV. And I said, then try to get a job there. And he said he has tried. He has tried a lot. I said, okay. And you didn't get any job. They said you must have minimum of 5 years experience. That where is there somewhere in the market where they sell experience that she can go and buy? Because who's going to give her the experience? Like, I said, you've tried. Okay, how many radio stations have you applied in? He said, I can't even remember if it was a guy or a girl, so I just used interchangeably. He said 4. I said 4 radio stations. Out of how many radio stations in Lagos, not to talk about Nigeria?
Over 20 stations in Lagos alone.
I expect you to say you've applied in the 20 radio stations in Lagos.
You've had 10
5
interviews.
times. 5 times each to make it 100. As in, the world is tough.
Yeah.
Nigeria is tougher. So if you want to move past the other people, you got to do the extra.
You need to find that extra girl.
You can't be normal.
Yes.
You have to be mad.
And one of the things that I preach to a lot of people as well is that I understand that, there's a lot of anxiety in the world. I understand that, obviously there are mental health issues.
Yeah.
But one of the things I advise young people as well is that find a way also to try to build some mental resilience. Because you have obstacles. You try not to let every obstacle fall apart. Sometimes it takes a lot of work for you to work yourself mentally to sort of like find the energy. There are times where you just feel battered, and crushed. I had my moments where I'll just wake up and I'll be like, man, I don't want to go to this place again today. But like you said, I'll just look again and be like, so what do I do? I'll stay in the house. What is there for me staying in this house?
Isn't it better to keep
Just
trying?
go. To just go.
I said to this guy, I said, look, you have to keep applying. Then secondly, in this day and age where there's social media, you said you're good on radio, right? put a phone in front of you, your smartphone.
Yes.
Get the news, daily news, and pretend like you're reading the news.
Put it up on your platforms.
And do it 8 a.m., 12 noon,
Yep.
4 p.m. and read the news consistently. Nobody's coming to your page. You do it consistently.
Yeah.
Every day, weeks, months, years.
Eventually,
Because
something
all
will
these
break.
years that you're searching for the job, you could have done that and have a catalog of videos.
Yep, that you can show as your
Just show
experience.
them. You know, your page will even have grown to such a level that even if a company comes for you to come and work with them, you'll be
Yep.
like, I've got a following already. Some people who are probably advertising on
Absolutely.
your page.
There's value.
So you got to go more than the normal
I
guy.
agree.
You can't be normal.
Completely.
Don't be normal.
Completely. What I said to people is, I share some of the frustration that young people share at the lack of opportunities. We are not pretending that there are opportunities, but what we are saying is that the lack of opportunity means that you have to be even more persistent.
Yeah.
This person says, guys, I have 3 business ideas and I'm confused. How do I decide on one? You have many businesses. How did you decide on one?
The first question the person needs to answer is, what's his name of doing business? Some people do business just for ego. My sister started a business I want to start as well. Or my best friend has a business I want to do business as
I have
well.
a private jet for lease.
There's something that's not really a strong reason. But I want to assume that this person is asking because the person is talking about money.
Yes.
Because the
It's a
person
safe
wants
assumption.
to make money.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the assumption. It's when you then I also want to assume that this person, all these ideas are like ready. Is just confused that which one he or she should pursue. Now, if it's about money, the easiest way to do it is not to deceive yourself. Right? Deep down in us, we always know which of these ideas will actually make us money. And there's a way to test it. Now, one of my mentors, one of my teachers, the late Gary Halbert, he said, what you do is you put yourself in what they call the gun to the head situation. Like you imagine that maybe yourself or someone you love so much has been like kidnapped. And the kidnappers pulled a gun to the person's head and said, you know what? The only way to rescue your loved one is we're giving you 3 months or 6 months. You go and start a business. And the money you make from the business is what you use in paying us.
That's pretty radical.
Or else we'll pull the trigger. Right? Now, by the time you look at those 3 business ideas,
They won't tell you.
You will know the one that
They
will
will
make
tell
you money.
you because there's life at stake.
You will know the one that will make you money.
Yeah, so no ego.
No ego,
Just straight
no ego,
numbers,
straight
cold-blooded.
numbers.
Cold-blooded numbers.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Cold, hard
Yeah,
numbers.
yeah.
That's what you think about. Immediately you will know. And it has worked because a lot of people have come to me and I showed them. They just laugh. I actually know the business that will make me money. I was just wondering whether if you can motivate me to do this other one.
Or at my level, you think I should be selling pop-off? Even though pop-off is what looks like will bring in the money. So the ego part sometimes.
Good point. Great point. You know one that will make you money.
Yeah, but sometimes ego gets in the way. What will people think? What will people say? And stuff like that.
And this is the one that I really feel cool with.
Yeah.
This one I don't really
Has
feel
a better
cool with
title.
it. So that's one way to sell it. It's a crude technique. It's a crude way to think. God forbid anything happens to any of us, but just imagine you're in that situation. Like the money you make from the business is what you use to rescue your loved one. You make the right decision. But people tend to make decisions based on ego, based on just what they want, based on just what they're passionate
How they
about,
feel.
which we've talked about over and over again about passion. You can make money and then go and use it to fund your passion elsewhere, but you need to make this money doing business. So that is one of the best ways.
I guess which dovetails back to the point that I made earlier about you being stubborn and consistent. And we're asking like, so if you leave what you are pursuing, what do you go back to? I guess the first step to deciding on what you want to pursue is for you to have a reasonable chance of success first. So exactly. So you analyze your environment.
So you don't just pursue blind. Exactly.
So you have to make sure that you have some skills, maybe some level of contacts, or maybe there's a demand in the market. You will do some level of reasonable analysis.
Yeah.
You won't know it all from the beginning, but you have a reasonable chance of success, and then you go right in. I was just saying that, that your point clarifies that point. Maybe we didn't make that clear because that could suggest that whatever the dream is, you have to do some level of analysis.
Well, I'm sure, but the person said 3 business ideas. I'm sure the person, I've seen the 3 ideas that are things that he or she can do.
Yeah. Okay,
was
well,
not confused.
Absolutely.
So that's why I answered along those lines.
It's a very good point.
I remember too when
I should ask you, just before you go on, is it possible for the person to start 3 businesses at once and
doesn't
test
make
all
sense?
3?
No, it doesn't make sense. You got to start one and see where it goes. Then look in your life, how many businesses do you actually want to do? You need to focus, right? There's too much fantastic going around. Diversify, go across all industries. Look, in your business career of maybe 50 years, or depending on how long you live, you're going to probably diversify into maybe 5
areas,
10 industries in about 40 years. So, but some people,
that's assuming that you're successful.
Thank you. But there's some people in 2 years in business. Oh, I'm doing dry cleaning. I'm
doing
selling
agriculture.
electronics. I'm doing. Come on, you got to really focus. You wouldn't be able to. When I started talking about what you said, like you must have an idea, an insight, or your abilities, or
some reasonable expectation of
success.
success.
Selling information products, I knew I was good with words. I knew I could write decently.
Yes.
So I knew that if I will be able to create a decent information product, I'll be able to write a decent sales letter. If I learned when I started reading about how sales letters, copywriting, how they work, I said, okay, I'm good with words, so I should be able to do
Once
this.
I learned the technique and I add it to my talent.
Yeah. So I'm buttressing what you said about once you analyze that this is something that you really want to go for, and you see it's something that you believe you have the ability to do, and you see some gap in the market, you just have to go all up for it.
Absolutely. The next question, I think you should go to you as well. Okay. It has to do with politics.
Okay.
And one of the many things that you do
all right.
is politics and governance. So this one says, what advice do you have for a young Nigerian planning to go into politics? First of all, I think that maybe the best way to attack this is sort of like how you started selling information products. Then obviously you started Nigeria's first sports betting and started the entire at what point did you decide to be a politician, and how did you build on that?
My story won't be the best answer for
a young person,
depending on where this person is coming from. But I'm still going to answer you, and I still come back to this question. Now, I've always loved politics. Like, my dad was, of his blessed memory, was a politician. He contested for House of Reps. He lost, unfortunately. That was when I won my election. I dedicated my victory. When I lost in 2015, for those that don't know, I contested in 2015. I lost, and my dad had lost like decades earlier. I was like, is this not a family cause?
Because I know you went hard in 2015.
I went hard in 2015 and I lost. I'm like, my dad lost. Is that not what they call generational curse in the Bible? Oh my God. So 2019, I was like, we must win.
Everybody came out. We all came out.
So that means there's no generational curse there. So I've always loved politics, and I said, okay, I'll get involved in politics when I'm matured.
Did you decide to find success first in business?
Yes.
So it was a conscious.
Yes,
I just wanted to establish that.
Yeah, because I've heard a lot about people, which I'm still going to mention. A lot of people who go broke and going into politics, or a lot of people who had careers that were coming up, and because of politics they got distracted and they lost their career, they lost their way politically, and they regretted their action. So I wanted, in fact, I should have contested in 2011.
Really?
Yeah. But I felt my business was not structured well enough for me to leave it for people to run.
Yes.
So I said, no, I was not going to do 2011. No. After 2011 elections, so I started getting
prepared.
I started penetrating my way politically, locally in Ibadan, so that I could contest for 2015. Because if I wanted to contest 2011, that means I will have
started way back.
2007, 2008, 2009. So I decided to make sure everything was set, because I was going to use money anyway.
Absolutely.
So, and I didn't want to go around begging for money for people to sponsor me. So I needed to make sure everything was set to find money to use, and also to make sure my business didn't collapse. So, but for the normal young man, I don't know if they have that kind of resources.
Yes.
But for the normal young man, what I will say is, number one, if you're coming into politics, are you coming into politics because you want to come and contest? Or are you coming to politics to just contribute your quota, maybe be part of a political party, even maybe go as far as being an executive of the party, like a ward chairman, what else called, like a local government chairman, local government secretary, or a state chairman, or state secretary.
Those are roles people don't pay attention, but they are politicians.
They are the real politicians.
Oshelu.
Oshelu Nikiko. Those are the real politicians.
Yeah.
Not people who, because you made money from London,
and the strategy
you are coming back home
those
to contest.
People is different from the strategy to be one that contests.
It's different.
Yeah, so it's good to have that clarity from the one.
So if you are trying to be a party guy, or you are thinking about contesting, there are two different things. Anybody can just come from London or from America, have made money,
have the CV,
and the leadership likes you, the party likes you, you're a sellable candidate. You can just become a candidate. And you won't even know the nitty-gritty of how party politics works, right? But whatever you choose to do, you need to join a political party.
First things first.
The mistake a lot of people make is that they just want to talk politically. If they have money, they'll start doing charity works and getting their articles in the papers,
getting attention,
and doing interviews on TV, on radio to spread the name out there. Nothing wrong with that per se, but it's a weak strategy, because at the end of the day, you need a platform, you need a political platform, right? And without a strong political platform, you're going to run into a lot of trouble.
Sort of like how you have to first engage at the small level of the party before you engage the public itself. Like manage politics within that small setting.
Party first. That's why anytime I say party first, a lot of people don't.
You get a lot of backlash.
But I don't care, because I know I'm telling the truth. It's
because you've lived that truth, so to speak.
I've lived the truth. So it's the party. You got to look for a platform. So you join that party at the local level. Ask for, let's say you want the APC, or you want the PDP or ABGA, or whatever party you want to join. So you look for the ward chairman. So go and meet the ward chairman. If you're a young man, ask also for the youth leader.
Yes.
Right? If you're a woman, ask for the woman leader.
Okay.
Right? Know them. Attend the ward meeting.
Okay.
Right? Join them. Discuss. Let them introduce you. Let people know you. No, let people know you. Political parties are run by contributions by party members. You can bring 2,000 naira, 5,000 naira and buy pure water, right? Or to rent chairs.
Just start to engage.
To rent chairs. You're not bribing them. You're contributing.
Absolutely. It's your party. You're trying to build it.
Normally, there should be membership dues for party members. Annual membership. That's why it was done during the Awolowo Action Group UPN. You pay to be a member of a party. So, but okay, maybe that's not well structured these days. But you can contribute and let the party run at the ward level. Then,
just make it clear that you want to engage and you want to work with them.
Absolutely, and you don't have to come and say you want to contest. Now, then let them now try and make the local government chairman. Let the ward chairman take you to the local government chairman. You meet the local government chairman, the party chairman.
Yes.
Then if you're a young man, meet the local government
youth leader.
If you're a woman, meet the woman leader. So you meet so you go for the local government.
If you're not a youth, what do you do?
The chairman.
So you engage at that level.
But they will introduce you to the other ESCOs as well.
In any case.
Okay, there's auditor, there's ex-official, and so on. So you know all of them eventually anyway. So you go to the general meeting. If your party holds local government meetings regularly, join them, engage, and be part of it. That's how you build it. Because you need that platform. You need that platform. People think once you are popular, you win. No. You need a party.
I mean, you've made some important points. What I want to ask from your experiences, so I don't say this to denigrate anybody. I think that what happens with a lot of young Nigerians who are doing quite well in their career or in business, other endeavors, is that there is a feeling that at that level, the people who are there, in quotes, and I don't say this to denigrate, are sort of like beneath you, as though how they reason is different from you.
It's
exactly.
Pride.
How did you I mean, obviously, you're quite successful as a businessman before you got
Yeah.
into politics. But like you said, for your ambitions to be fulfilled, you have to go there.
I'm a local boy. I'm a local boy.
You're the man of-
I'm a grassroots man. So it came naturally to
But
me.
how do you advise someone who it doesn't come naturally to, who has schooled abroad, who has,
You should learn. You should learn it. You see what do you need? You just need to respect them. You don't treat them less
As though they are beneath you.
Yeah. Just play with them. Be okay with them.
Okay.
When you can support them, you support them.
I ask this because I think it's a barrier to a lot of young people.
I know, and they can't. A lot of people don't want to do party politics, but they want to get into office. They don't want to do party politics, but they want to be in office. But they've forgotten that it's the party that gives birth to the office.
I mean, I remember when you were trying to get the House of Reps ticket,
Yeah.
on the APC platform.
Yeah.
And I know how many times you had to go to Ibadan just to get the tickets
Yes.
to contest
A
elections.
lot of people don't want to go through that. They just want to. They've forgotten that.
To be honest, I don't want to go through that.
You're not a politician. Look, they've forgotten that the party is mini Nigeria. If you don't want to face the problems in a party at that small level, you can't succeed. You can't make a success of succeed or of making a success of within party politics. How do you hope to now
Deal with bigger
manage
problems,
the big
bigger
one? Because
interests.
the party politics is micro
It's a microcosm of
of
society itself.
because you meet the traditional rulers, you meet different religions, you meet different interest groups within the party.
You even meet people
If
that don't like you.
You cannot solve that. How do you solve when you become governor? How do you talk to the religious leaders? How you talk to the market women? How do you talk to different
deal with
people?
your
How do
enemies?
you deal with all of them? You don't want to deal with it, so you go and look for a dead party. You go and look for a dead party
with a weak
to
platform. And then you
and
most
you've
likely lose.
forgotten that if you are in a strong party, about 30% success rate, 40% success rate
It's already assured.
Is already assured. So people need to get down to building the political party.
I'll ask you one more question. I mean, so I don't want this to turn this
Yeah.
into political, but I think that this is a teachable moment for
Yeah.
a lot of young people. What do you say to young Nigerians who have given up hope with the political process in Nigeria? They just look at all the parties and just think like, look, it's hopeless. I don't want to go into all of that. And they're passionate about Nigeria. Do you see hope from your experience of playing internal party politics? Do you think that if more and more young people join, eventually we can get to a point where, I mean, obviously, all the parties can be vehicles for real, measurable change?
Yeah. I think we need a lot of education for our young people. A lot of our young people see politics upside down, right? For example, if you go on social media, if you engage my tweets, you'll see that anytime I talk about party leadership, party supremacy, I get attacked a lot.
Get a lot of backlash. A lot.
I don't.
But you keep putting it
I
out.
keep put because it's the truth,
And people have to
and
hear
they
it.
have to learn. They have to hear it.
When you put it out, I'll laugh like, oh, Akin's going to get a lot of backlash.
They don't want to look. In those days, when party politics, like Action Group that we had, I was not alive then. But UPN, I was young, but I knew.
And your dad was playing the
Look,
politics.
Yes. Look, the party will formulate the policies of the governor. We are going to do free education.
So when you get into office, you must do that.
It's not that you get there, you now say you want to concentrate on roads. No, this is what the party wants. They voted for the party. So this is the party manifesto.
So
They write the manifesto for you.
So that's the kind of like background, your own approach to politics.
That's how it is. But these days, everybody wants us to do one man mopo. And I don't have a problem with being a one man mopo if you are truly a one man mopo. Not you trying to use other people's platforms that they built. You now get there. You now want to act like a one man mopo. No.
If you want to be one man
That's
mopo,
unacceptable.
be one man mopo from
man
day
mopo,
one.
Go and look for one of these dead parties. or
Own the party.
or
Build the party in your
start
image.
Your own, and be that one man mopo, not answerable to
anybody.
anyone.
Okay,
But when you do that, you now see the problems when your followers too
Yes.
don't want to answer to you. It will start to pain you.
Exactly. So I mean, I guess in summary, young Nigerians who want to go into politics, start at your local level.
Yeah.
Join political groups, join political
One
parties.
point. one point. Be careful with your spending.
Okay. You should know. You should know. So I guess that's summary.
You be fool. You be fool.
Don't go and overstretch yourself. But the point is, engage at that level. Join them. Yeah. Be interested. Contribute. Be a committed member.
Because you go broke.
Okay. So I guess they have enough.
I think you should take a question as well. Let me take.
Okay.
I'll ask a question. Let me be the one. You've asked me, I think, more questions than I've asked you. So now, what is the secret to attracting and keeping rich friends and mentors?
Well, I have a rich friend. I mean, I don't know if there's I mean, I have a lot of friends who are older than me, who are, I mean, obviously, way more successful, who have, done all the things that I hope to do. I think that maybe what I'll say is that don't become their friend over what you can get from them, so to speak. I think that what they have is not yours. Whatever it is that they have, they worked for it. They deserve not just to have it, but they also deserve to keep it. You don't moralize what they have. So let us imagine that you have a rich friend and you are in a spot of border. The person being a good person or a bad person is not dependent on if the person comes to save you. Like, just focus on your own race, focus on your own self, and be friends without putting your own expectations on them. I think that just be considerate, be fair to them. They're like, most times they always have a lot of problems. They have challenges with time, they have challenges with finances, So also consider them as human beings, just as you have problems. At their level, they also have problems. They wish to have less problems. So don't make yourself one of their problems, because we all run away from problems. So when the person in his mind starts to frame you as a problem, obviously, naturally, there'll be some distance, because don't forget also that from a case of mentors, that they already have an established life. They already have they already have a life that's functioning without you. So sort of like, don't overrate your importance. Have your own value that they are also learning from. They can also in some way rely on you to say, oh, my friend, please, can you help me do this? Oh, I need this. Sometimes they will call you for counsel to say, look, I want to take, I mean, we have all sorts of conversations. I want to take decisions. What do you think? Let them feel like, I mean, I might not be able to find the words
to their lives.
Exactly. Don't look at them and see and focus on what you can take, and don't make moral judgments of them. How they spend their money, where they spend their money, who they give their money is none of your business. Whether they give you their time, if you say, I want to come and see like a mentor, and he says, oh, I'm not available for 2 weeks, it doesn't make the person a bad person. What are you doing your own 2 weeks? Is it that you don't have any plan? Don't you have anything you are doing? And then if you don't have anything we are doing, then we need to question why you want to be this person's friend. Just don't project your expectations on them. Don't have any sense of entitlement. Like I always say to people, whatever it is that they have, 1, they work for, 2, they have a right to keep, 3, they have a right to use in any way and manner they deem fit. Don't make, what I think a lot of people do is, oh, I'm close to this person. He's the governor. He hasn't given me a contract, so that means he's a bad person. That's convenient judgment. You don't know what that guy is dealing with. If the person eventually thinks that, oh, this thing that I want to do, I think Akin will be the best choice, the person will come to you. If the person has given you a contract, it doesn't mean, still keep contributing. So support the person irrespective of what you get.
What do you even mean by friend? If you define it, because the question says, how do you attract rich friends and keep rich friends? If you're using the word friends, so if the person is not giving you something, the person, what are you giving the person?
And then the other thing is, so if the person is not giving you, so to speak,
what are you
is
giving?
The person paying for your friendship?
What are you giving?
What are you giving? What are you giving?
If you were giving and it's not giving,
yes,
then you can say you are giving and it's not giving. But you ain't giving anything.
Most times, what happens a lot of times is, and I think that the word attract, and maybe I will probably say maybe I have a problem with the word attract. I think that what you need to do is be the best you can be, do the work that you can do, know people, build your network, but don't focus too much on what do I do to attract this person, because when you put in a lot of work to attract a person, and then the person now becomes attracted to you, and maybe the person is not, it's just like case of a man and a woman. You're attracted to a woman, so you put in a lot of work to get the woman to notice you, to pay attention to you, and then when that happens, the woman still doesn't have your time. You can have some resentment because of the time and effort you put in. So I think maybe you shouldn't focus on attracting.
I think the problem we have is that there's this mentality. I don't know where it came from. That once you know someone that's financially better off than you are,
Yeah,
the person automatically owes
he's responsible for you.
We have it that we even have a saying in Yoruba I forgot if I remember, but
Yeah.
there's a proverb that validates it. So people you meet an old friend, like we were friends 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You've gone your separate ways. Then you see each other later. Oh, you're nice to the person, like my guy,
In a
my
minute.
G. Okay, we'll talk now. We'll exchange numbers. And the first message is my house rent.
Nobody asked me for house rent, I'll be honest.
Like that means you actually, it's not like you're trying to rekindle the friendship. You just want to get something. You are happy to see me so that you can get something.
Yeah.
So I can help you, but we are no longer friends.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you're trying to invest in the
Yeah,
relationship.
you don't even want to relive our old times together. I just want to, I don't know, will I say monetize or whatever, but there's something along those lines. The other point I should make very quickly as well is that you must see mentors particularly as people who are also looking for value. So they have a lot of
Absolutely.
experience, they have a lot of network, they have a lot of know-how. The people that they will mentor are also people that in some way can also contribute to them. So I have people who are my mentors who contribute to my life, but also will say, Biola, help me sort this out.
Yeah.
Biola, I need you to help me take a look at this.
Yeah.
And you must also be willing and able to do that for them without any expectation. You should be as passionate to contribute to their success as they are to contribute to you. So there's a fine balance in it, and I think that, in my opinion, I think that it rests in you. Before you knew this mentor, before you knew this rich person, there was a way you were living your life.
Yep. Yeah. Why can't you just continue
Why don't
living
you
your
live
life?
your life like
If you didn't meet that person, you wouldn't
Will you
die.
die?
You will still
Exactly. Why don't you just live your life like that? And what I've found over time, from my experience as well, is that a lot of people who are in those positions, in positions of mentorships, in a position of mentorship, position of leadership, position of financial success, is that in some way, because everyone around them is used to asking them and placing demands, they in some way maybe sense the people around them who are not there because of what they can get.
Yeah.
And they know somewhere in their mind.
Those are the ones that they open their doors to. Those are the ones that if you call, they pick. Or if they miss the call, they
Will call back because they feel like this person is not, because everyone around them.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, I mean, when I see the demands on you, sometimes I'll be like, man, God, does this guy cope? Like, it's not even about the money.
Yeah.
It's even the time, the attention. So sometimes we are talking, you will tell me, oh, I'm in Lagos, but I'm coming to Ibadan this night, and then tomorrow I'm in Abuja, and then I need to be back. And I'm just thinking, like, even the demand on the time, demand on the body, demand on the mind, attention, because a lot of interest. So I just feel like also just look at them as people who also so they just need to live their
Just
own
to add
life.
to this, the person that asked the question, if the person is listening or watching, like, if you meet someone that is financially okay, better than
or is in a
you,
position
or
of
is
leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you get the audience, like exchange numbers or something, you immediately need to start thinking about what you will do for the person, not what they will do for you. Look, big people need things as well. They need things. Some people are big, but they are terrible with social media. Why don't you offer to do that for them?
Yeah. Some have businesses that need more structure,
Why
need
don't
more
you,
marketing.
Why don't you offer it? And don't be amongst those that are queuing up to ask for money. Because when it looks at his missed calls at the end of the day, and it sees your own, be different. This one is not part of the rest of them. Look, as big as people think I am, I know other big people.
Of course.
And people in my level are calling those big people and they are not responding. But me, anytime I meet such people, all I think about is what can I do for them? What can I do? I'm looking for the opportunity to do something for them,
Contribute something
to
to
show
them.
that, look, I just want to know you. I just want to be your friend.
Yeah,
I
want to learn from you. I want to
I'll
relate
gain
with you.
more things from you other than
Money.
financial incentives. I'm like, what can I do? So once I get the opportunity to do something,
Yes.
you know some of these stories that I don't need to share them here. And I do it. And so whenever I call these people, if they miss my call, they call back because there are few of such people that
Around
fit
them.
into that category. So they are looking for such people. They are looking for more of such people.
because they don't want
Who they
problems.
can sit down and have a glass of beer with
no expectations.
And they won't think that by the time he's standing up, so sir,
Transfer money.
even if it means you're going to trek back to where you're going,
Yeah.
you should have planned yourself. So he doesn't want to have the plan. There are some people you know that, okay, some people will not ask for money straight, but they know that, okay, let us talk small. So by the time they talk, we'll say, so about that thing, you'll be like, so that's why you were talking for the last 1 minute.
Softening me up.
Nothing wrong with that generally, but
Yeah.
we're talking about keeping them as friends.
Yes,
Because
yes.
before some people think that we're trying to say asking for favor is wrong.
Oh, no,
We
it's
are not
fine.
saying asking for favor is wrong.
Yeah, but the specific
This
question is how do you
question
keep
is
them
about
as friends?
keeping as friends. So they don't have too many of such people. So they actually need more of such people that can be there without stress, so that they know that if they talk for 1 hour and watch a movie together for 2 hours,
all good.
Their mind is clear. They are the ones that will be thinking later, like, what can I do for this guy? This guy doesn't want to ask me for anything.
Absolutely.
Fine, there are people that won't think about it, but usually it's a friend that you want. It's
Leave
not
him
a
alone.
money pipe.
It's not a
money-
father. It's not an uncle. It's not an uncle. Yeah. So I think that you've covered it. So in my opinion, it is that first of all you have to have things of value as well that you can contribute to them, and contribute these things freely, in the spirit of friendship, because friendship also means looking out for each other's best interest. So do whatever it is for that person in the best interest of that person, and if that person is your true friend, definitely the person will also do things. It doesn't have to be money. It could be opportunities. It could be looking at you and saying, I think your business can be better.
Yeah.
It is helping you, bringing you into a deeper network, because obviously network impacts your business opportunities and whatever it is that you want to go on and achieve. So, and I think that is what a lot of people have to focus on, that you meet somebody who is president or governor or a billionaire or whatever doesn't entitle you to a change of lifestyle, doesn't entitle you to free gift, doesn't mean that the person, you can actually even tell the person you have a problem and the person's solution is not financial. I know someone who was telling me that he went to meet somebody who was his mentor to say, he had problems, maybe with his rent or whatever it was, like one of the big problems in Nigeria. Rent is one of the big problems for
major.
for a lot of
Rent
people.
I pay.
Exactly.
I know.
So he went to go and speak to his mentor that he had problem, and the mentor said, look, in fact, there's a business idea that I think is a low-hanging fruit for your business, that I think that you should do that. What I'm going to give you is initial capital to go, and of course the initial capital was not anywhere close to his business, but if you follow my advice and you explore that opportunity, when are you supposed to pay your rent? In 3 months. Tell your landlord that I should give you maybe 2 more months that you pay the full rent. I guarantee that you will make far more money than this. And that was exactly what happened when he explored that business opportunity with the capital that is a much older mentor gave him. He established that opportunity. He made far more money than his rent. He was able to comfortably pay the rent. He came to offer back the capital, and the mentor said, go away with it. Exactly.
So
and that opportunity continued to make him money. So some people's reaction to your problem, I always tell people that when you run, if you take your problems to someone, because it's an urgent problem for you, does not make it urgent for the person.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Don't make your urgent problem.
Don't
is
reflect.
urgent.
He has other problems that have lined up on a queue.
Yeah.
If you need to pay rent tomorrow morning, that's not his problem. If he has decided to help you, you can join the queue.
Yeah.
He might give you that
If he
money
decides
1 month
to
later.
bring you from the queue,
It's up to him. It's up
Yeah.
to him. So some people will project their expectation,
Yeah.
the urgency of the situation, everything onto one person. I don't think that if you do that to someone, don't call that person your friend.
Yeah.
It's somebody you are trying to emotionally exploit.
Yeah.
Somebody who you are desperate to. Either the person does what you want, or you label the person, and so we cannot call that person your friend.
All right, brilliant. It's been an explosive one.
I've enjoyed it.
Thank you very much, Biola, for joining
Enjoy
us.
it, man.
And I believe all those listening and all those watching this, you've all learned at least one thing or the other. Thank you for joining us for this edition of the Ask Akin Alabi Show. If you want to join us, if you want to ask us a question, like I said at the beginning of this show, just send us an email at ask@akinalabi.com, ask@akinalabi.com, or use the hashtag #AskAkinAlabi on Twitter especially. We'll see your question. We can answer you right there on social media, or we can bring your question to the studio and answer you. For those of us that are watching on YouTube, remember to subscribe to this page. Thank you. We'll see you next time.